Pardon me. So here we go. We're back on this call again, which we still haven't given a name. We'll just call it another casual chat. And it's the 11th of April. So we've got Sue Morland, who you've seen before. You've got me, Wayno. You've got Sarah over there in the corner, who you've seen before. You've got Ray. And we've got Anita. And we've got Ashley, who this is his first time appearance. So, Ashley, you better give us a short resume of who you are. Tell us a little bit about yourself or something like that.
Yeah, well, I suppose ex-road train driver for about 30 years, grader operator, ex-shot firer, done a bit of blip drilling and blasting over the years, and looking for a better life. Or aren't we all?
I was going to say, there's a couple of us in that.
Yeah.
We're all just like to be allowed to live my own. That'd be a plus.
Well, we've got somebody that knows how to blow things up before things fail.
Could be very handy. Gotta be careful. They might come after us. We're one of those split two groups.
Oh, no, it's all peacefully done.
Best bait I've used for fishing. Guaranteed.
Fair enough.
Blast them out the water. Shame.
I took a bloke out one day and he tossed his lure in, and I had a small orange juice container half full of nitropil, and I lit the fuse and turfed it over the side, and no bang, just a few bubbles and shit come out of the water, and 50-pound cod. That's how you're doing things the hard way.
That's awesome.
It's kind of cheating a bit, Ashley.
Wow, you got to try these things.
Yeah.
We used to be allowed to be adventurous like that.
Yeah, that was a long time ago, Sue.
It was. I can still remember my neighbour, farming family, very typical Aussie farming family, beef farmers. We must have been about 13 or 14, and he must have got into Dad's dynamite supply. And I'm not quite sure what he was trying to do, possibly the same as what Ashley just said he was doing, but he managed to blow the dam wall up of one of the neighbours' dams. So he lost all the water out of the dam. And boy, did his dad haul him over the coals. He had to go down and repair that dam wall for the neighbour, and that would never happen these days. You'd probably end up in jail. But anyway, people used to self-govern and sort things out themselves in a neighbourly fashion.
Yeah, a lot to be said for that.
Well, back in the day, like come lunchtime, we'd jump in the car and go to the pub for lunch, and there was a HD Holden, and there was 5 kilos of ammonium nitrate in the boot. There was detonators on the back seat. There was det cord on the dash. The windows were open, and no one gave a shit. No one cared. There's no signs, no nothing.
Oh, that reminds me of when I was back working in offices when I was young, which is quite a while ago, and there was always booze in the top, like in the bottom drawer on the right-hand side. It didn't matter which desk, it was booze. And it was always Friday night drinks, There's nothing thought about it. But these days, my God.
Yeah.
Well, the story that used to do the rounds back when I was a young bloke was in the local town that I lived in, somebody was stealing the firewood.
Mm-hmm.
And they soon found out who it was when his fireplace got blown up, eh? Once again, self-governance.
Yeah, well, every ute back then had a gun rack hanging off the back window. There's always a shotgun or a 308 or a 22 in the gun rack on the back window.
Yeah, every farmer used to have a gun fully loaded right next to the back door just in case they needed it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of young people getting a lesson right now about how things used to be.
Wow, back in the olden days.
Back in the good old days, yeah. Like it was nothing to walk around town and see, rifles in the back of utes and, on the dash or laying on the back seat. It was commonplace.
Yeah,
Yeah.
every 12 or 13-year-old could walk around with a 22 or a slug gun and go and shoot a few trees, or
Yeah.
nothing was said ever.
We had little pellet guns and things at one point in time.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yes, simpler time, and I'm guessing that not as many people got shot and damaged and raped and murdered back then. I'm pretty sure the numbers have gone up since then. So anyway,
Mm.
so that was a nice little diversion into history, wasn't it?
Recent history.
Yes.
Yeah, good history.
Yeah.
Yes. Back when
that's-
men and women were free to be men and women.
That's right. There's a message from a few of us who understand what freedom truly is.
That's right.
Well, we thought we were free. At least we had that illusion.
Well, yeah, we did think we were free, and we're a bloody side freer than most people are now, I can tell you.
Definitely.
True.
So what are we going to talk about today? We've got Terra Australis States Assemblies. We've got to mention that. It's always, we abbreviate it to TASA. That's just easy. So if you tuned in and you're watching here today and we mention TASA, that's Terra Australis States Assemblies, we're all a part of TASA. That doesn't mean we only talk about TASA. We talk about whatever comes up. There's a bit, I've got a short bloody sheet in front of me with a few things on it that I probably could talk about, but Sarah provides that, but it gets shorter every week. It used to be a page and a half. Now it's half a page. So anything could happen. So where will we go first of all? Well, we might, yeah, go on.
I was going to say, I might start with Anna because, like, Anna updates, because I don't think you did them last week, did you?
No, we didn't. That was my bad. I ran off the rails, Sarah, without your support. There was a few things I missed. But, I can only apologise.
Well, Wayne put me to work in making copper coils.
Well,
I listened to that. It was a really good show. It was a really, really good show.
Well, I'm telling you now, wire stripping is not for me.
It's hard. It looks a lot. They just make it look really easy. It's really hard. I've tried to coil copper wire. It's
not easy. Well, it took me the rest of the afternoon to make two.
Well, it was only 2 hours. It was only 2 hours after we finished, Anita, that you sent me a picture of the one you made. That was after finding the copper wire.
Yes.
Ashley, you've been playing around a bit with copper wire and making your veggies grow too, haven't you?
Yeah, I replanted that plant this morning, stuck it in another pot. It's only 3 days old and it's so big. It's already outgrown.
Wow. Did it start out as a seed or?
Yep.
That much in 3 days?
Yep.
We don't know what it is. I can vouch for that. I saw it
you don't know what it is.
2 days ago. Yeah. You don't know what it is yet, though, do you?
Jack and the Beanstalk.
I think it's a lemon tree.
Magic beans. A lemon tree.
Yeah.
Wow. You might be producing lemons next year.
I think I'm going to stick one of those things behind my ear, see if my hair will grow.
Now, there's an idea.
Because it takes forever. I'm going to walk around with these 2 copper things and see if my hair will grow.
Earrings in, Anita. Just copper earrings.
Blend in. Don't stick so out.
All right, we better get back on track.
Serious show, people. Serious show.
Yeah, sorry. I'm not sure whose fault that was. Wasn't mine. Okay, Sarah, you better tell us about what Anna's been speaking about.
Where did I get to? We talked about Uriah, hadn't we? And how she'd been over there and she'd done the 3. Right, okay. So anyway, the follow-up to that, with the next one is Uriah and Bathsheba are getting married. They drew a line between now and the past, and they're moving forward, and they're letting go of the old stuff that doesn't serve them. They're just saying, you know what, what's done is done. Let's just move forward the best we can and, make the best of it and have long, happy lives together now. The next one, Anna, it's Granna. She was sort of questioning King David. And if you remember back that far, King David was the one who was pushing the whole lactation and saving babies and everything. And his wife was basically producing the milk for all these little babies. And she's like, well, was he wrong or was he showing us a different way to move forward? Because, depending on which point of view you look at it, it could be either or both. Then the next one that Anna Granna has put out is she talks about the sanctity of honest, true, pure commitment between a man and a woman. How do we bring it back? And can we? And should we? Because, this is kind of on her way to get to, what she sort of is figuring out. The next one is when she goes to visit another old friend while she's in England, and they discuss the very, very important, the vital importance of life and love, especially love. Her next one is about destinies to fulfill, hers and everyone else's, choices about whether she is going to leave or stay or whatever, and the fact that she has basically accomplished the mission that she thinks that she was put into this world for. The following one after that, she talks a lot about how all of us are playing a role that we chose and crafted before we were born onto this world. And depending on how soon in life we realize that, the things that we are meant to achieve either happen, sooner or later, and we can shape our destiny to a point, but it really does help to know who you are. And that means to really know, like, do the work, go inside, look at what your fears are, look at what frightens you, look at what enlivens you, really get to know who you are. The next one is where she says this whole big fight, it's all about life and death. All of it. It's all of the division, all of the two-sided arguments, this versus that, blacks versus white, Republicans, Democrats, Catholics, Protestants. It's all about life versus death. Okay? And the sexual union between men and women is a big part of that. Okay? And we have been dealing with a death cult. There's no other way to say it. This whole machinery, the engineering of the machinery that's been arrayed against us, men and women, is all about killing us off. Then she talks about what her life work is. Her life work is about the preservation of life in the face of a determined force which deals in planned elimination of certain types. She says that she loves the English people who have been preyed upon by the Brits for at least as long as the rest of us, probably longer. And we need to remember, first and foremost, that we are all together in this fight for life. And it's not just our life, it is life. And if you look at, the technological intelligence and the AI and everything else, that's what they're trying to squash. They're trying to squash life. They're trying to kill it and take it away from us. So anyway, that takes us up to the start of the last week, and I can do that at the end of the show.
All right. So we are carrying a huge load around on our shoulders then, aren't we?
Yeah, look, I'd encourage everyone to read what I've been sort of summarising. The whole Uriah thing, it was a journey, like it really was. If you've not read it, people, I would really encourage you to go and read all those things, because it's odd, but it really does bring home the importance of life and the value of life.
I was just reading an article half an hour ago, and it was all about human farming.
Yeah. And that's the thing, because and later on she moves into population collapse, and that's what they've done because with farming, they can manipulate the same as, you know, we do with cows and sheep. We manipulate the genes and we decide which are going to live and which are going to die. And they're doing that with humans, and you're quite right. So anyway, so that's the Anna updates until the start of last week. And then, as I said, I'll do the rest at the end.
Righto. Thank you very much for that. Thank
Ray,
you for that.
Hang on. Ray wants to say something.
Sorry, may I?
Yeah.
Sorry, mate.
When you were saying the Uriah thing, what did she mean? Because Uriah was the name of a soldier in King David's army. Is that what she was referring to, that story?
Basically, the backstory is that she has two very old friends, a male and a man and woman, who knew each other a long time ago when they were all young together. And this woman was from a very wealthy background in England, and she was not allowed to marry the love of her life because he was not from a wealthy background. So she called them, so she doesn't reveal their real names, she called them Bathsheba and Uriah. And
okay.
So Bathsheba married King David.
Yeah.
And it talks about her life with King David, which I think was happy that it was.
Yeah, why I say that is because that story is controversial. It's not believed in all circles. Keep in mind, once again, this is why I need to do my population of my documents. I've created a Telegram channel and I'm starting to populate it, but I'm not telling anyone yet.
Very good.
They have tampered with the Bible, right, so much because once again, we need to remember, and I have to stress this point, that Christianity has two components. It's a Middle Eastern religion, just like Islam, right? But it has been hogged and westernized and Europeanized into a Western religion.
Yeah.
And with it comes colonization, and with it comes playing with biblical scriptures, which can be proven, but it's for another show. So yeah, we have to be very careful, because I noticed that Anna is well-meaning. Of course, I don't mean to understand at all. We have to be very, very careful, because we are looking at at biblical scriptures that differ mysteriously and significantly from what they were in the first century. I yield.
Well, I haven't read the Bible, so I don't know the story of Bathsheba and Uriah, but that's what she has called this.
Very quickly, what it was for a background is that Uriah was a major soldier in King David's army. King David goes down one day and he sees Bathsheba having a bath and she's got no clothes on, and he's a teenager and he wanted her, so he organized in the next battle to put Uriah, which is Bathsheba's husband, on the front. Yeah.
You missed one bit. You should have. Bathsheba was his wife. Was Uriah's wife.
Yes.
In the
right.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yes, you are right. Thanks, Sue, for that. Yes, quite correct. And put him on the front line, got murdered, and then David took her as a wife, and they had a child. And then God sent the prophet Nathan to deal with it. The baby died, and so when David had the next son, Solomon became the rightful heir. I yield.
Well, there you go.
That puts another light onto the whole thing. So that does provide good background for anyone that's read the Uriah stuff. You heard off Ray. That's the story.
There's so much. Like I said, there is so much. That's why I decided I'll do the Telegram channel, and if I disappear, I disappear into the ether. The angels will come and take me up and I'll miss Armageddon. But the thing is, so many people are awake but also asleep. Like, I guess during the week I did the silliest thing. I read some of the other freedom movement groups and I was just like, oh my God, this is worse than working with GovCo. And for the smallest moment, I wished I was back in the classroom. I said, these people are not awake at all. They are asleep. Everything is inverted. And people think that, like, the United States of America, for example, was on the right track and then it deviated and went off track. No.
Mm.
On the wrong track from the very, very beginning. It was planned that way. A God-fearing civilization was overthrown to replace it with a godless civilization. Look at the inversion. We just came out of the Enlightenment of Europe, but we didn't get enlightened.
That's
We
right.
got more brutal, and most of the trouble happened after the Enlightenment, and people can't connect the dots that this was planned from the very beginning. And everything now was planned at least 50 years ago, because my God, all the technology we have now is nothing compared to what they have, that they will release in about 50 years, because they're always 50 years ahead of time. All technology is military technology. Because I had a friend over the other day, he goes, oh, look at all these fancy gadgets. Oh, we're so great. And I said, hey, this all originated in the killing sector, right? This all originated in the killing sector before it came out to us. It's a death cult, like Sarah said earlier, and that's exactly what it is. Are you?
Yeah.
So you're a walking, talking historian. You've given a whole heap of two separate lots of history there. No notes, eh? No
So
notes.
I'm going to have to do.
I know, because I've been on this journey since the mid-90s. It's the birth certificate fraud and the corporation and the capital letters and the legal fiction that I had no idea about until 2012. So I look at it as the missing link, the final piece in a puzzle that I thought had been resolved decades ago.
Well,
you keep learning. You never stop learning, and I'm sure there's a lot of things that are going to rock up and still shock me.
Yep, and
we're
the
going to have
same
to give
goes
you
for
your own history channel.
I know I'll get things thrown at me because it's so opposite.
Never mind. You'll be behind the screen. They won't be able to hit you.
You put it all up there, and if you need somebody to interview you, there'll be people on this call that would love to interview you and drag that information out.
And throw things at me, but I'll have Anita as my bodyguard. She's cool.
Righto. We probably should move on, Wayne.
Okay. Now, Ashley, you alerted me to something that you had found, and it was TASA oriented. Came from TASA in the States, and I found it very interesting. You shared it last Tuesday night on the Tuesday night call. I shared it here last week, and people went away and had a look at it. Would it help to get one of those links up on the screen, or do you just want to...
How do I do that?
Oh, well, I might be able to do it. Just hang on while I see what I got here. Hold on. I'll go into share, and then I'll... So the first link, Ashley, it's just the video, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the second link is that link tree. Can we go to that one?
Yep. Everything's in there. When you get a bill, you send them a contract. I'm not sending this, I'm going to pay it instead. And this is more or less cut and paste from Gordon, but I added a bit of information of my own. And it's to Chicana Energy, the financial CEO or CFO, Chief Financial Officer, Marco Dysoma. And I've got here, I've reconveyed my political standing back to land and soil jurisdiction, proclamation date 17th of April 23, and all documents have been mailed by registered mail to the respondents. See overview all on the back page there.
I couldn't get that to share either. I didn't get it properly.
And it is their duty to correct the record and inform Marco Dysoma of my reconveyance back to land and soil jurisdiction. For your files. It is not my duty to inform Marco. Then it goes on to Gordon's section. I, Ashley McCall, a legal fiction. Marco Dysoma. I can hardly read this. I don't have much light.
Well, without having it on the screen, Ash, it's a bit hard. But can you?
Wayne, I've got the Public Court of Record, mackayland.com, which is a free document example, and it just goes through the steps. Would you like me to share my screen and then I can?
Yes, I think you've got to reach out and ask permission, don't you? I think
this is the contract you send first.
Well, but just go back one step, Ash, before we dive into that paperwork. Can you explain the process? Like, so you've got to what kicks this whole process off?
Well, when you get the bill, like I got my power bill, well, you send them this contract. Got to send them this contract first, and they will respond to it. And once they respond, then you fill out the invoice.
Okay, well, just hang on. The contract, Sarah, would you have that contract in that stuff you've got there?
I've pulled up on screen. It's the Public Court of Record, and it says, I don't think it's the contract, but it's the step-by-step process that you go through. So it's using the fee schedules, and they'd like to pay the taxes. If you're providing a corporation service for free, they'll take it. Instead, invoice the sender from your lawful person for that legal person.
Do you want to just put that up? Because not taking anything away from what you're saying, Ashley, but we need a bit of lead up to it to kind of get where you're at.
So let me just...
I thought I had the paperwork there, but I didn't.
Share settings.
That's another case of I thought I did.
Can you give me permission to share, please?
You haven't asked.
Send request. Okay, hang on. Just did. Just asked then.
Righto. Well, it's all sorted. Here.
I've got it here.
All right, hang on.
We'll see how Sarah goes. If it doesn't work, Ash, we'll get you to share yours if you've got it on your screen. But
all right, so can you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you? Can you talk to that, Ash? Can you? The Court of Public Record.
Well, that's the website.
Yeah.
Got to get a website up and running first, because the website link goes on the invoice.
Right.
Now, I was saying there before, once you get a notice or a bill, you need to send the contract. They respond to the contract.
Now, the contract, that there's a template or something for the contract, isn't there?
I've got it here now.
All right, well, I'll stop sharing, and if you want to share, Ashley.
If you could share it, Ash, you might have to just, you might get straight on, or you'll have to ask for permission. Ashley sharing, there you go.
How do I bring up the document?
If you find the document wherever you've pulled it up there, Ashley.
If it's down on your taskbar down the bottom, you'll be able to share it. See, I can't go looking for anything because I'm recording. That means I can't
minimize the screen to bring it up.
Right.
I've got it in the background, but I don't know how to bring it up.
Maybe stop sharing for a minute, and then pick it up, and then go back to because you're on a Mac, aren't you? I don't know how.
Yeah.
All right, let me see. So that's the origin story. So I'm in the Linktree thing, Ashley. Should I go to should I go to the website?
No, it's not on there. No.
So this contract then, where did you get that from? Is that
it's under his documents.
Right. So there's a template there, or you just like copy?
What I was just reading out is the template I copy and pasted.
Oh, righto, you copy and pasted. So it goes. So you need them. You want to keep looking for that, Sarah, and see if you can find it.
I'm still working on it. Yeah.
So just give us the process before we dive into the actual document. So let's say I get a bill, I get a power bill, and then what happens then, Ashley? Then
you need to write this contract.
Then you do. So this goes from the bill, then you write the contract.
You send them this contract, and they've got to reply to it. And they'll more than likely send you another bill saying you have to pay it. So this says you're more than happy to pay the bill.
Right.
And you attach a schedule. And I've also attached the notice of liability, the TASA document.
Yes.
And I've also got the fee schedule. And I've also added, in case they want to share this with their legal team, I've got Anna's lien for them to check out as well. They're lawyers.
Anna's lien on the Bar Association.
Throw that in.
That's powerful. Powerful.
Yeah.
Yep. And then, again, they come back and more than likely say you need to pay this bill. So, yeah, fair enough. You've agreed to that. So you fill out the invoice. And let's say, well, mine was a bit over $1,000, but we'll work on round numbers, $1,000. You times that by 7. So that's your fee, $7,000. You minus their bill, 1,000, which leaves 6,000 that they owe me. And because I'm such a good bloke, I'm going to give them a credit of 3,000. So now they owe me 3,000. So now they have a credit on their books and they have to do something about it. They have to balance their books. Now they've got 30 days to pay that $3,000 they owe me. If they don't, it goes up over 90 days back to the $7,000. And they owe me the 7 in gold or silver bullion. Starts off in maritime jurisdiction, finishes in land and soil jurisdiction. Another thing I forgot to mention, that last meeting, you can't do this unless you've done your 928.
Yeah.
You've got to complete your 928.
Yeah.
And we need that website because that website address goes on your invoice, and the invoice and all of this goes on, gets uploaded to the Court of Record. So when they open that invoice, they can see the Court of Record, they log on that and they can see all of that is on the public record. So you've got them on the back foot. And it stops correspondence between me and them, and it starts an argument between their lawyer and their accountant.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
The couple of things there. Do you not, when you do the invoice, do you not also credit off the bill they sent you?
Yeah.
You credit.
My bill was, so it was over 1,000, but say 1,000.
Yeah.
We times that by 7. So I bill them for $7,000.
And then you credit.
I take that 1,000 off that I owe them. So they owe me now 6,000.
Okay, so let's just stop there for a sec. So did it not say, I've only watched the video once. Who did you watched it too, didn't you? You had a look. Ray, did you watch it at all?
I didn't get a chance. I wish I could.
Okay, Anita, you watched it, I think, and commented on it. Sarah, did you watch it?
No, I haven't watched it. I'm working my way through the websites now.
So what happens is he's like Ashley saying it starts a blue between their accountant and the lawyers because of gap accounting, generally accepted accounting practices.
Yeah.
So when you credit you credit off what you owe them. You charge them and you credit off what you owe them. And our mate on the video, I forget his name. Yeah, so he says that under generally accepted accountancy practices, that a credit on an invoice is like money in the bank.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they can't argue with that. So you've paid.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've paid the debt.
Yeah,
Now
I've paid the thing.
Yeah.
They owe me 6,000.
Yeah.
That's because I'm such a good bloke, I've given them a credit of half that, 3,000. So now all they owe me is 3,000. If they pay it in 30 days. And if they don't, it goes back up to 7 over the next 90 days.
Right. Now
And paid in gold or silver bullion, not fiat currency.
Right. Now, why it starts a blue in wherever this paperwork's gone back to is because a good accountant recognises the gap principle, recognises that the bill has been paid, and recognises that you're never going to get another credit like the one that kind Ashley has offered. But the lawyer, he can't see that because he's not an accountant, so it starts a bit of a blue within the organisation. The accountant's saying, look, let's just sort this now, and the lawyer's saying, no, stuff them, let's just ignore it. But it gets worse for them because you add over 90 days, you add that credit back on. Now, you said it started out in maritime and ends up on the land. Can you explain that a bit better? Can you?
There's actually a map, a diagram there on his website showing you how it works out.
Oh, okay. Well, I haven't. I'll have to go and have a look at that. So, does it end up? So it starts out as an invoice, like you've
As
got
a contract first.
Yeah, the bill, then the contract, then the invoice. Does the invoice end up turning into a lien or something like that, or
Conditional acceptance.
a conditional acceptance?
Yeah.
Oh. And so, if they haven't paid you after 90 days, do you need to take any more action, do you reckon, or is that it? Like,
Well, they're supposed to pay you whatever's owing, like the 7,000. You times that by the price of gold or silver on that day.
yeah,
You bill them for that again.
that's after the 90 days.
Yep.
So you tell them what the amount is in gold or silver. Right. But how do you see it ending up? Like, are they going to just fold and leave you alone? Anita, you had a comment that you'd done something similar, I think, but it didn't work out. Can you recall what they did? Forewarn us a bit.
They ignore everything, and they just push forward and try and get you into court. They tell you that but they didn't even tell me the last time that there's a court case. They just gave me a court judgment or something. And then they put the PSSO department on me to try and sell my houses from underneath me. And that's when I paid them. It was only a threat, but I wasn't going to push it any further.
Anybody got any, Ray, go on.
It reminds me when I took out a lien against a debt collection agency that we're chasing a few years back, and the lien was sent back to me but opened, and they denied everything, of course, only to find out that, obviously there's conflicts of interest and everything. The ombudsman was against me, pretending to be impartial, because on the ombudsman's board, the CEO of that debt collection agency is also on the board, so they're both on it together, and that's conflict of interest. And and they don't listen, and they took it all the way to the court. I yield.
Okay, I found the contract.
Can you see that?
Yeah.
That's your difference between your water jurisdiction and your land.
Right, water jurisdiction must reference a valid and documented counter-offer. Undocumented counter-offer can be challenged in their courts and ours. False claims in commerce is a serious offence in their world as well. Verify your proof of claim. Currency is whatever offerer's currency is. Process works worldwide. Send only a certified copy by you. Certified by you, copy. Retain original as property because it's a negotiable instrument. Place in a file cabinet. Your file cabinet is now a bank vault containing securities that you, the private banker, can attest to the provenance of. And your private property is now a bank. Payment must be honoured. Right. Paid in full on original invoice, righto, and mail back to the sender. If negotiable instrument matures in 90 days, the legal system loses any control. Corporation loses all legal recourse and remedy, and document revenues jurisdictions. So so if you followed that process, he's saying they can't even take you to court.
Yeah. One of Gordon's respondents took him to court, and when Gordon was in the court and the judge or magistrate walked in, he looked up and seen Gordon, and he said, "Get that man out of my court. He costs me money."
Yeah. So after 90 days, we're in the land jurisdiction, are we? Is that am I reading that right?
Yeah.
Can be denominated in silver, gold, or any physical real commodity. In this case, it becomes a silver certificate, and it's up to you to press your case from here. Right.
I would like to know how to press my case from here.
Well, hang on, let me just see if I can find it. I've got what a copy, I think, of the invoice would look like if you want me to share my screen. And then I've got, looks like a conditional acceptance letter that could be used as a template. So if you'd like me to share.
Yeah, please. And it's what he said there in that blue writing. If that's true, they got nowhere to go with it.
No.
And they might not even understand that, or they might try and drag you into court. But if that's true and you take all that with you, I suppose,
Well, this is what can you see that on the screen?
Yeah. Can you make it a bit bigger? Please.
Give me a second.
Okay.
How's that? So essentially, this is how you'd write the invoice, I guess.
Yeah, this is actually in the video, this one.
Yeah, right. So you've got your fees, which are in Federal Reserve debt notes. We would say, standard fee for service, sevenfold face value of offer. This is why it's important to know your fee schedules, folks. This is what you use your fee schedule for. In there'll be something in there, and I can't remember exactly, but it's something about administrative costs. So if you are forced to deal with any kind of administrative stuff, I forget what it is per half hour or 15-minute segment or something. It's something ridiculous, like $50,000. But anytime they use your name, unauthorized use of your name, administration costs, paperwork, all those sorts of things, that's where you would add up all of this and use it on these invoices. Use your fee schedule and you would, if you wanted to be really nice, you could attach a photocopy of your fee schedule and highlight the bits that you're actually using to charge them.
Just to help them out.
Yeah, just to let them know. So mutual credit offset and payment for full in legal person, all caps name, and then you say paid in full next to the name. So you'd put your name down here where it says all caps, and then you'd pay the whatever money it is. It's an offset. So you take that off this, a 3 by client discount for payment within 30 days, and then total now due is $37,000. Credit within 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. Can only be set if it goes overdue, it can only be settled in solid money or hard assets at the discretion and convenience of you. And it's this much silver dollars or this much in US dollars. So you'd put Australian dollars. Okay.
So I'm pretty certain that you would never get the money. And that would be the end of it. Now, if you just go see that first bit in yellow up the top, not where it says contract, but just below that on the left. Yeah. It says there, create one's own version of a public notice or may use one's LRO or GFG publishing link. So they've been using GFG, but Ashley suggested, and I think it's a great idea actually, that every assembly try and get their own website, and that's where we publish this sort of stuff.
Well, that's Gordon's there, that top yellow line. Public.mackayland.com notices, records.
Yeah.
That goes on the invoice.
Yeah.
That's why it's there.
Yeah.
And that's what we need on our invoice. Our own web address.
Well, technically we should all have our own website. I think TAS is aiming for every assembly to have its own website. Let me just see.
This is a public court of record and notice board.
Yeah. And this is the other. Let me just try and increase this. So
while Sarah's doing that, I was just going to say, what struck me while reading all of that was how, again, the law of water is everywhere with commerce, like the bank and currency and staying afloat, and the assets are liquid, and it's insolvent if you go. It's unbelievable.
All stuff none of us would have noticed once.
Oh.
Eh?
Well, we don't think like them. We're not devils. We're not a death cult.
No.
Members. So how can we think like them? Thank God we don't, but it's good to know thy enemy.
Good to understand.
That doc there's the same as this one here. I've done up.
Yeah. So is this the first one you send, Ashley, to say, look?
Is this the contract? Is this the contract?
So this is the one you say, I've got your bill.
Have a read of it. Have a read through that.
Send this out. So you're supposed to be issuing a voucher that I sign and you go to the Treasury for credit. I'll assume that this was set off and settled. So basically you're sending this back to them to say, listen, it's already been paid, deal with it. Yep. And then if you don't pay with it, this is what's going to happen. So first of all, you're dealing with a living man or woman. I'm not a resident or member. This is how my name, terms and conditions, standard fees apply. This is where you might attach your fee schedule.
That must be in, yes? You can't leave that out. That's got to be in there.
This one here, the terms and conditions.
Fee schedule.
So you've got to put
but they're, can I just butt in there? Well, I'm going to anyway. They're not talking about the fee schedule there. They're talking about something that they referred back to the Bible, and you're allowed to charge sevenfold. And then if they use a third party to try and get the money, you're allowed to charge 70-fold.
Yeah.
So they're not actually referencing the fee schedule. So
no, they're not.
I mean,
this has just come from America, isn't it? On America, this was written, correct?
Yeah, correct.
I can tell because of their punctuation, which is different than ours.
So would you have to put in that biblical quote to talk about to reference what you're actually talking about?
They do mention it in the video, but it's not there, is it? That's a template.
Yeah, that's what I was going further down.
Because one of the late notes, would it pay to put that in, that section of the Bible? And he said no. All you need is that fee schedule there.
So they reference the fee schedule, and you got to have done your 928, but they use another method to calculate the fee. So I don't know about that. Anyway, I suppose if that's been working for him, he did say in the video, I think it's not a get-rich-quick scheme. So I'm tipping that they don't pay you, but you paid your bill and they go away, or supposedly they go away.
He goes into detail about it. Some do, but what they do is they bankrupt the company and just start a new name. So the shareholders don't find out about it. The shareholders are actually paying us. It's coming out of their money.
Well, it's another piece of the puzzle, Ashley, and I think it's a really important piece. So I'm going to stop sharing if that's okay.
There's nothing. Can you just scroll down the bottom again, because you went down there and then you took off again. So hang on a sec. What's this notice? The first, middle, last trademark, first, middle, last transmitting is ward of the state, and any and all variations, however styled, as foreign grant or trust, no use granted under penalty of $15,000. So he's explained the $15,000 fee there.
Well, ours is actually $5,000.
Yeah.
I changed that to $25,000 on mine.
Okay.
The lawful person has been appointed administrator and holder in due course of all estates so titled, and has executed a deed of reconveyance, a declaration. Yeah, so that's why you've got to have the 928. Lawful person as per the Uniform Power of Attorney Act, Section 1101. Somebody better look that up, see what a lawful person is. Hereby terminates all that's in your paperwork. Hereby terminates all previous powers of attorney, regardless of when and where used. Mandatory notice, Foreign Sovereign Immunities Act. Yeah, can you scroll a bit further? There was something.
We're actually talking about that today, that mandatory notice.
Yeah.
And it's so
conditional acceptance.
So conditional acceptance, you send this out before you invoice to set the terms and to return the documents. So this can be sent out in a package with a simplified fee schedule. So it's, or any other notice or document one wishes. So you send it out with your fee schedule.
I put the notice of liability in as well.
So I didn't see that. Let me have a look.
That's the mandatory notice.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Notice of liability, sorry.
Yeah. So
is that all on the link tree?
it's on the link tree, but you need to go to the creditors in commerce one. So I had to go to the one that was Danika or or however she says it.
Yeah.
So yeah, you've got to play around with it a little bit.
Yep.
But yeah, I'd definitely go in and have a look at them. Yeah, Danika's next steps. There's a whole separate sort of link tree on that one, and that's where I found these documents.
Okay, thanks.
Took me a little while to find them.
So
But, yeah.
actually, you've got your paperwork done. So you're gonna try this out.
No, I'm going to pay it.
Okay. Oh, because you're going away, or you probably.
I don't know what's going on. Plus, there's no website in place.
Yeah.
Have their website up and running first.
I wonder if we could talk to Diana about that. Because if we
I was going to, but this job I look like taking on, it's 10 hours away.
Yeah.
It's 10 drive down the road, and I've just tried to pay it.
Okay, but
the process is there, and if we talk to Diana and ask her if she could set up basically it's just a public notice board.
It's a court of record and notice board.
So,
but it's no good to me if I have to run down the road to start work.
No, it's not going to work for you this time around because you work remotely, but there's no saying that we couldn't get set up if somebody else wanted to have a crack at it or see what's involved.
Yeah. And certainly run it past, as well as that, we could run it past the law and litigation guys might want to have a look at it, and also the original Mochi crew, because they'd be interested in as well. Because there's a lot of people who've done work, but I don't think they've gotten to that point, Ashley. So for you, the credit goes to you for doing the hard work to find the links to that stuff. And then if we can take that a step further, and then let other people loose on it. And that's what TAS is about. It's like people bring pieces of the puzzle and then someone goes, oh, that makes sense. And then they do the next bit, if you know what I mean. So, you've been really instrumental in bringing some really good stuff to light, not just now, but in the past as well. So, yeah.
Natalie's seen this in January and she thought it wasn't applicable to us.
Yeah, but see, that's not Nat's field of expertise. She's in a different headspace. So it's just putting it in the right place at the right time in front of the right people. But yeah, and look, this goes for anyone out there. If you're doing anything, not just like what Ashley's done, but if you've been researching something, you're thinking, could this work? How could this work? Sue and I know a lady who's talking on title deeds. We're going to see if we can get her into another meeting with some people in the next couple of weeks. Everyone knows stuff and everyone is finding stuff out. Bring it forward to people because, like Ashley,
I meant to bring up at the last meeting.
Could really.
I got a title for this place through Sheriff Barry McInerney down in Frankston, Common Law Court. He does up titles for $90. He'd do up a title for $20 or $30.
Never been tested though. No. That's common law.
It goes on their book of deeds.
Yeah. It hasn't been tested. Neither's this remedy been tested in our country either. But
it's all trial and error, really.
Yeah.
But
just go and do it.
The key to the whole thing is what I read out in the blue writing. He's saying that they have no recourse in the court. Is that in actual fact true? Somebody needs to try this out and get down to the nitty gritty, and see whether they can actually do anything about it. That's the only way we're going to know for certain.
Right. I think Neville Mladen down in Melbourne, I think he's trying it out with some of his utility bills. and he knows his stuff, so he'll make
Yes.
sure it's Australianised.
Mm.
And because I see there's a few things in there that pertain to America only, not us, that you'd have to adjust it, but he would be onto that. So
Has Neville had a look at this too?
I don't know if he's looked at this exact presentation, but he was telling me like 5-6 months ago that he was going to do this with his electricity bill. So he was already aware that it should be possible to do it.
Yep.
We're just awaiting for all these brave people who are having a go to, you know, because what you want to ask people always, well, have you done it and were you successful? Otherwise, it's a rumor.
The thing is, a lot of stuff that people have tried, they don't really know if they've had success or not. Their other team's gone quiet, but they don't send you a letter and say, "Oh, well done, Ashley, you beat us. You know, you caught us out." You never get
They'll
that.
never do that. They'll never ever do that. However, I do remember the original Mochi in America, like their team, they were operating a form of mutual offset credit exemption exchange. And you could tell it was working because they would get their next bill from the utility company and the credit would have showed up on there and been removed from the next bill.
Yeah.
So that's proof that it has worked.
That's proof, yeah.
When you've got a credit show up, and that's what we're really after, then we know we're doing the process correctly.
But, you know, all this kind of stuff like the IRS in America supposedly doesn't exist anymore. So how is some of this stuff working? What's our tax office even doing, mucking around? You know.
Yeah. But it's like anything. It's like I got a letter back from the bank to say that they'd received my notice of instruction. Now, I think that was an accident when I sent my respondent letters off and I sent the one to the bank. And I got and for some reason it got, because I was tracking it, and it got diverted from the CEO. He diverted it to the legal team in somewhere else. And they sent me a letter back saying, we've received your notice of instruction and we await further instructions. And that was it. I've not heard nothing since then, but I know they got it and I know they know what it is. So they're never going to confirm that they know what they're doing. And I would have to go and actually probably make an appointment with the bank manager. He's not going to know what I'm talking about when I say special deposit. I'd have to make an appointment with him. I'd have to sit there. I'd have to take in my respondent letters and say, well, here it is. Here's the notice I got back from your legal department. You should have done this. And that's the only way that I'm ever going to know if it's a special deposit account or not.
That's right. And that little process that you just outlined there could take you the rest of your natural life, because they'd be pushing back and you'd be having to go to Sydney or Melbourne, or, you know.
That kind of info needs to go on the public record.
Yeah. So, yeah. So
all the more reason to have a public record.
Yeah.
Well, we might talk to my Anna and see what she can come up with.
Well, the other thing, and Ashley mentioned this, I don't know whether you mentioned it on the show on the call on Tuesday night, or whether it was to me privately, but even for people reconveying with no newspapers now, if you've got a court of public record, can you actually put your notices up there?
You used to be able to put it on the public court of record, like there was a public notice board.
Yeah, Ashley knows about that. They took yours down, didn't they?
Yeah, they stopped letting people use it.
I got mine on the 2nd November, and they took it down the 28th of November.
Yeah.
And then I got my third notice in the first paper, TASA paper.
Yeah, they got really, a lot of people couldn't put their notices on there because they were stopping it. So, yeah.
I got mine in the first one, went in the NT News, and no one else. They said no more.
No one else has managed it. That's right. So yeah, it's tough to get your notices out there. That's why people are resorting to putting them on notice boards in shops and stuff like that, and taking photos and all that sort of jazz. But if we could get some public notice board, that That
They
would be
have
good.
a donation to upload documents to the notice board or to the court of record, and it generates some funds for the Treasury.
Or to pay for the website if you have to pay for it. So,
$5 or
Sarah,
$10 for an upload.
Yeah, I know you didn't come here today looking for a job, Sarah, but you know, if you were to put all this stuff in front of the appropriate, committees that you talked about there before, and perhaps even, I'm not saying you should. This is only a suggestion, right?
Okay.
And perhaps talk to Judgy or somebody high up like that and see whether a court of record like that would work, and to see whether TASA would. Well,
I'll have a yarn to Mike and Myanna and see where they think it would be best placed. If they're going to roll out Mike's system in the next couple of weeks, it might be best going on there. Otherwise, they might have another idea for where we might be able to do it. So, all right, I'll poke some bears and see what I can find.
All right.
Trees and leaves. Thanks, Ashley.
Thank you.
No, I'm just looking for Gordon's court of record. Here it is. I'll just flick this up, show you what it's about.
Okay. I haven't been able to open that link.
I can't open it either.
No, I couldn't open it either. I don't know whether they may be mucking around with it because they're realising that people are cottoning onto it. Anyway, we can put the links in the description under the chat. So anyone that's watching this later on, the links will be in the drop-down thing under the chat.
I suppose that's fair enough. If you give me a job to do, I gave you a job to do.
Yeah, that's right.
All right.
And or if you can't get it that way, please send an email, seagull4451@outlook.com. One of these days we're going to have an email for this chat, and it's going to be called Nothing Off Limits.
Probably.
We need to come up with a good name.
Yeah.
Right.
Why not Nothing Off Limits chat?
Yeah, that's what we said. Nothing Off Limits chat.
So that could be the name of the group.
Yeah.
What about one?
You solved it. Well done, Sarah.
What about that one day? What about
if someone doesn't agree? Then yeah, I'm all right with it.
What about that one day when Ray wants to say something and we say no, you can't, and he said, "Well, it's called Nothing Off Limits,
except for when we get copyrighted."
I rest my case.
Sorry about that. I mean, I had.
In terms of discussion,
it was a valuable experience.
It was. And in terms of discussion, I think we should be able to talk about pretty much anything,
Yeah, true.
We're not inciting anything, just asking people to wake up and think, that's all. Don't think that's a crime yet.
Not yet.
No,
might soon be the way elbows going.
Yeah.
Can you see that?
Yeah.
Yes, we can.
Want to take a screenshot of it?
Public at mackayland.no. Yeah. So it's public.mackay, mackayland.com /notices/index.php. But if you just look for public.mackayland.com, hopefully you'll be able to get it. I wasn't able to get that before.
See, these go back to 2020 to 2022. This stuff's been around for a while. So it has. Was it public.mackay, is it?
Public.mackayland.com.
Public.mackay. How do you spell Mackay?
mackayland.com.
Mackay. On Mackay Land. I see what you're saying, yeah.
Yeah, mackayland.com.
We just need to make up our own name, like public, whatever. .com/notices/indexes.php.
Yeah.
Okay. Australisms.
Yeah. I'll talk to my Anna and I'll have a yarn to her and see what she can come up with. We'll see what we can. Okay.
Righto, thanks for that. Well, we've been going for a bit over an hour, people. We haven't yet covered the word of the day. Which
I thought we could do it because I remember the first time Ashley gave a talk on this, and I thought that is brilliant, and I didn't know any of that. And so I thought, oh, this word is a good one.
Well, I'm looking at what you've written here, and I've got to ask, is securitized spelt with a Z or an S?
Well, the Americans would spell it with a Z.
And Australia.
Securitization. So
Okay.
Nowadays, it's acceptable. Nowadays, you can go for an S or a Z. It is now acceptable here.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, who's done their homework? Sarah put this out really, really late this afternoon, only shared it with us just before the show, so that she would be the only one that knew the answer.
No, because Ashley knows the answer. I'm sure of it.
It's all illegal. They shouldn't be doing it.
They shouldn't be doing it. But what is it, Ashley?
Securitized. What's it mean?
It's like, for instance, in the courts, when you stand up and give your full name, you're giving them authorization to order a copy of your birth certificate. So they turn it over and monetize it, and it's securitized. It's sold to the markets. It goes out as a 90-day bond. And what do they normally do? They adjourn the court for 3 months. How many days in 3 months? 90.
90 days.
Did you just have an aha moment there, Anita, or what?
What a coincidence. They've just got their commission from that bond. Now we'll run this court again. You're back in 3 months and they say, what's your full name? You give them your full name. You've just authorised them to order a copy of your birth certificate. It's the same thing, just going around in circles. They're securitized their bond by markets.
If I may add to that, because this kind of stuff does not, like, I have no interest in this stuff and I'm not very good at it, with always being with this kind of like money pooling and all of that. But my understanding is that they pool together all these birth certificates, these pieces of paper, and then they bundle them together. It's like superannuation, but it's another story. And then they monetize it and then sell it off and make profits and all of that. But the thing is, the key I find, this is how I interpret it, is that they're making money out of thin air because they're administrating the bankruptcy. Ever since they took away the gold standard, it's just fiat currency. So it's pieces of paper that are promissory notes, promises to pay, and they're dealing with that with other pieces of paper, and it's a messy. I yield.
It's the same as your mortgage and your personal loans. When you go in there, they get you to sign that loan agreement. They turn that over and they monetize it. It's sold to the big super funds overseas. Let's say you wanted 300,000. Well, the bank just made more than 300,000 out of that loan agreement because big super funds were bidding on that loan agreement. They would have been paid more. Let's say they got 320,000. The bank's just been paid for securitising that loan agreement. Then they pull the 300 out of your birth certificate trust account and loan you your money, and you got to pay it back with interest. And if you look at the Bills of Exchange Act, I think it's section 4 or 5 on security instruments, the maker of a security instrument is entitled to the credits it creates. Who created the loan agreement? Was it me or the bank?
Wasn't you, Ash?
My signature created that loan agreement. So that's 320,000 the bank made by selling that loan agreement. They kept that 320,000, which belonged to me because I was the maker.
It says here on Investopedia, securitization transforms non-tradable assets, that's us, into tradable securities, providing investors with income from interest and principal payments. So it's, it says it transforms non-liquid assets into tradable securities. So we are the non-liquid assets. We can't be just liquefied, although I'm sure they'd like to. A la Soylent Green.
My God.
Don't be surprised if they've got technology that can dematerialise.
But the Bills of Exchange Act and the Uniform Commercial Code goes into detail about your security instruments, how to write them, promissory notes, you need to have a contract with them.
So
all the information's there.
So they're not just talking about us, though. They're talking about mortgages, auto loans, credit card debts.
Yeah.
Repackage them all into tradable interest-bearing securities sold to investors, and they all start out as illiquid assets worth.
So that's where all your all caps name and then your upper lowercase with the dot points. Some of them are utilitarian names, like names of utilities. Some of them are
Foreign Siders Trust.
Yeah. Trusts that have been set up, all the different names. That's why it's important. And we talked about this the other day when we talked about capturing the names. That's what you're doing. You're pulling all of these securities, securitized assets, which are all these different versions of your name. You're pulling them all back. You're taking them all back. So you are unsecuring all of those debts. You're pulling them all back to you because you're dissolving that trust and you're bringing it back to you so that you can manage your estate. So that's securitization.
Well, I use that remedy. I use that Anna's remedy against the Federal Treasury to get access to my Treasury Trust account. And they sat on all my documents for about a month, and they sent back my birth certificate, which I monetised, and they kept everything else. They wouldn't open my account. They give me nothing. I just got an envelope with my birth certificate back.
So they're breaking their own laws. Okay, good to know.
Yeah. Okay. I was surprised, Sue, you didn't come in on the word of the day. You've normally done your homework and you're spot on.
She got it really late.
Well, hang on a minute.
It's not too late, she said.
Hold
my beer.
This is on the word trust. Sarah.
Yes, I did say I was going to do trust first. And then Sue said, I don't know what to talk about with trust. So I thought I'd change the name. I'm really sorry.
Meanwhile, I found heaps on the trust. Next time.
Next time. We'll do trust next week.
Rosido.
Anita, you had an aha moment. Do you want to talk about that, or would you rather just aha on your own?
No, first-hand experience with Callan's court cases, how they then push it out. First it was a month or 2 weeks, then it was a month, and then all of a sudden 6 months. So now that has explained it to me 100% what they were doing.
Yeah.
Remember, Ray?
Yeah.
Just been cashing in, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And then they let him go, but they also, what was the words that Callan used and said that they're now cashing in another 5 years on his trust, although they've let him go?
Yeah.
They got their money out of him.
Yep, and they fined him $1,300, and it's a real shitty job getting copper out of wire. That I may add, it's not my kind of scene.
Oh my God.
Yes.
I know what's good for me, and that's not it.
Thanks,
Wow.
Anita. So look, we've been going for an hour, maybe an hour 15 or something. We still haven't done the document of the day, and we've still got to catch up on the Anna stuff. What do you want to do, Sarah? Do you want to do the Anna stuff?
Well, we can leave the document and just do the Anna stuff, and then
Yeah, because the documents are going to run out. We're going to eventually have gone through them all, so it doesn't matter if we miss this one there. So, do you want to bring us up to date on
with Anna
for last week?
Oh, okay. So it was a Grana note, the first one of the week, and she said, "We have won. Anna has won." She wants to remind us that money is just a product, the same as shoelaces, gold, socks, or post hole diggers. Money doesn't need to be controlled. The people hoarding the money need to be controlled. More importantly, life and love are far more worthy of our time and investment than money. Where are you investing your time and energy? Then she put out an international notice. War profiteering has left Britain and Western Europe in a state of population collapse. Rather than fix the problem, they've tried to collapse the rest of the world's population as well, because that's what you do. The mercenary conflict in Iran, and yes, it is just a mercenary conflict, it's not a war, is to cover up their crimes by, the old bait and switch. Don't look at that, look over here. How do we fix it? By switching our values and vision to life and love away from the money game that is constantly shoved in our face, and by standing up and proactively self-governing. Everyone out there. Then the next one was from the head of state, Eric Belcher. Dear Iranian President, Mr. I'm not even going to try with the name. We, the Americans, apologise for the out-of-control organisation pretending to be us. We are deeply sorry for the harm that has been inflicted upon innocents by people operating in our name. We are working as fast as we can to regain control of these subcontractors who are acting way out of their lane. Then there's an international notice. We are drawing a line between we, the Americans, and the British Crown Corporation, who is directing President Trump, who is their current CEO. We, the Americans, are not responsible for all of the warmongering that is going on illegally under the flag of America. Then Grana is asking everyone to be very honest about yourself, your trauma, your hurts, your dramas, not in a victim way, not in a look at me, poor me way, but it is only when you're really honest about you and your past that you can start to heal and become whole. You need to become your own rescuer and healer. Then she talks about the twin flame. If you are lucky enough to know who your twin flame is, you need to connect with them in whatever way you can and turn your attention and focus towards oneness and the love that overcomes. This will resonate throughout the planet, and the planet needs miracles right now. Now, just to add to that last little one, for those of you that don't believe in any of the woo, that's fine. For those of you that do, you'll be aware that for some time now, there's been talk of a great flash, a splitting of worlds, a great awakening. Religious people might call it the rapture. Something is coming down the pipe. I have heard 5 people on YouTube over the last couple of days all saying it's getting really, really close. So I guess what I'm saying is accept who you are. You're good, you're bad, you're ugly, but really accept who you are, love yourself, honor yourself, and be true to yourself. Don't try and lie to yourself. You might well lie to others around you, but don't lie to yourself. And just be the best person you know how to be. Okay? Things are coming. Things are going to get better. I know for a lot of us out there right now, it's tough. It's hard. We're tired. We've been doing this for a while. And I'm not just talking about tassel, I'm talking about life. We've been doing it for a while and we're tired, but I think things are about to get better, but we need to just breathe and remember every day, just look at the trees, look at the grass, ground yourself, be the best person that you can be and be gentle with yourself.
Good advice. I think when Anna says be honest, I think she actually means be honest with yourself. Like, you know.
Yep.
And that's not easy sometimes.
It's hard.
Yeah.
Really hard to go in and look at your dark spots and all the rest of it. It's I've been doing it for a long time. I remember I was 14 and someone said something to me one day and they said, God, you're so patronizing, Sarah. And I went to another friend and I went, am I patronizing? And she said, yeah, but we like you, so we just ignore it. That's when I realized that I've got a lot of stuff that I don't like about me. And I try not to do it, but when I do, I just go, you know what? That was a bad day. And I apologize and move on. You own it. You don't try and hide from it. You apologize to who you've hurt and you move on.
And actually, when you own it, the shame or the pain goes away.
It does.
It's true. Yep.
Yeah. Don't make yourself a victim. Just realize that you cocked up, own the mistake, apologize, rectify it if you can, move on. You're human.
I'm not going to be like Sarah, though. I'm not going to go looking for validation. I'm not going to go to my mates and say, am I really that bad? Fair income, Sarah.
Well, I wanted to know because sometimes people, Wayne, teenage girls can be bitches and they lie a lot just to be nasty. So, you know, I kind of had to get a little bit of feedback from someone I trusted. So, you know, and I got the feedback and it was good. Yeah, you are, but we just ignore it because we know you don't mean it. So they, you know, they knew that was the good and the bad. This is who Sarah is. We accept who she is, all of her, the good and the bad.
Well, acceptance is a big thing.
Absolutely. Yeah. There's so much, what is that saying? There's so much good in the worst of us and so much bad in the best of us that it ill behoves any of us to talk about the rest of us.
That's true. So true.
And with that, be an example. You can yell at your dog now and go to the post box just 2 seconds away and come back and he's happy to see you. All forgiven.
Yeah.
That's right. And you know, I can demonstrate that. If you lock your wife and your dog in the boot of the car and leave them there for 5 minutes, which one do you think is going to be happy to see you when you open the boot?
Oh. The dog.
Always.
Exactly.
Not that we're condoning locking anyone in the boot.
No.
That's a bit of a mean thought.
Honestly, I've never tried it. I've never tried it.
I wouldn't either.
Probably a good thing, Wayne.
I've never been game to try it.
Good luck if you ever try with Yvonne.
Well, that wouldn't work. No. And actually, if I had tried it, I probably wouldn't be here now. So.
You won't get it in the boot in the first place, Wayne.
Has there anybody got anything else to add, or will I wind this call up right now?
Wind it up, I think. Seagull4451 at outlook.com. If you've got any comments, we will put links in the chat, and hopefully in the next week or two, Wayne will sort out the pepper files so that people can just directly go to the YouTube channel and replay.
Had to point that out, didn't you? Well done.
It's all right.
Thank
All right.
Ashley, for that beautiful spiel earlier.
Yes. Thank you, Ashley, for coming on and sharing all that with us. And I think we're all better off for it. And we'll see where it goes. I actually like it. I think it looks promising.
I think it's a good thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
All righty.
All right. And I thank you for your time and your energy and for even coming on here at all. You were so brave.
Very good.
see you in a week's time, probably.
See you,
Okay.
people.
No worries. All good.